Just a visual scenery, just for y'all. Bridge, Empire State Building is right there. It's the Brooklyn Bridge, some buildings. Right there's the time. Don't worry about it. And yeah, that's it. Hopefully y'all can hear me. It's not too much traffic. Can't see the Empire State Building. There's some beams. There are some cars. And yeah. And as always, but that's really what I was thinking about. It's just I wonder what would replace that sound, and I wonder what sound did it replace. Like, that's how that thought just worked. And I don't know why I just told y'all that whole entire thought when I was just supposed to mention it a little bit. But I kind of went deep, so hope y'all appreciate that. The other thing that was on my mind was words. It's just like the limitations and like that some words have, and the non-limitation, and that whole new alien language. I don't know if y'all heard about this language that they were decoding, and it's like a hologram type language. And I don't know if y'all know about like the hologram type theory. I don't know the name of the theory. This is what I call it, you know. I talk from what this understands in my code word. So yeah, in my code word. That was weird. So yeah, in this language it's like a hologram. The hologram theory type language alphabet thing that I'm trying to say is alright, this is the whole. If you was to take, like, rip that whole piece into a whole bunch of million pieces, I hope I explained this right, and you take the littlest piece, that little piece has the blueprints, has everything you need to make the whole again. Like, it has everything in it. And that's how that alien alphabet works. It's like a living organism. It's a living language. It's like, and it's crazy because it makes sense, because it just proves that language is alive. But if that was to be in the future or in another dimension, or it's just, I don't know, but it just makes sense. And then you just could think about it endlessly deep, where you can never know. You just never know until that point, or they will know, but you won't. Like, you don't live as long to know, unless 2012 just, you know, just releases, you know, gives birth to just the truth. But yeah, the language is just really cool because every piece is the whole piece. So the thing that I was trying to say, and I hope y'all still on me with this whole alien language, whenever something new is learned in the language, it affects, whenever something new is learned in general, it just affects the language. And it's so weird, because then if you start thinking about like the mentality of like the people that you would need, the type of child, the type of brain, this type of software that these biological robots, because that's basically what we are. But no, let me not get too ahead of myself. But yeah, thinking about it, it's just like, what kind of software, what kind of brain, what kind of mind do these children have to be running on to learn these type of alphabets? Or do they teach their alphabets at a young age? Or then would it have to be that the alien race, their lifespan would just be longer for them to be able to have enough time to actually learn these things? Or it's just, do they have fun? Do they have feelings? Because if you take away feelings, you can learn a whole bunch of information. It's like a computer. It's just recording without like reflecting off your experiences. And it just, see, that's just a conversation. That's just a freestyle that I'm coming up with right now as I'm thinking about it. And it's just like, so many thoughts. I hope I just gave y'all a little fruit, and you know, y'all just bursted a tree, nutted a tree. So yeah, yeah. So yeah, the thing about the language that was so cool is just whenever something new is learned, the alphabet, the building blocks of it are affected. They have to be reiterated, and it's just like, it makes sense. It's looking at language as a living, biological, growing, type of entity. Like, so yeah, I thought that was cool. And then it just makes me think, like, hieroglyphics, how would their alphabets work? Would it be like a painting for each letter? Because, you know, a picture is worth 1,000 words. So, you know, it could be that type of, and then it just really got me thinking. It's just about that. How do you write the whole history of everything onto one letter and then try to individualize it as the same time? And then thinking about that, it just makes me think of the reflection of ourselves. Like, you know, we're all one species, but we are individuals. It's so crazy thinking about that in a language of if everything is in one thing, how do you individualize it? And yeah, that's just another question I ran into. Thinking about that, and it's just it has been, I'm sorry Mom if you're watching, but it has been a mind fuck for me, and it's still messing with my head. I can't wrap my head around it, and it's so hard to understand, but it makes sense. Like portions I understand, but not the whole thing, and it's so weird just thinking about that language, like a mind, and then the type of kids that, how do you teach everything to a kid with just like the letter A, because I don't know how many characters they would have, how many letters, but yeah, it's just thinking about that. Alright, moving on. The other thing that I wanted to really talk to you guys about was meeting new people and like chakras opening, and I love that. I like when I chill with artists, with other artists that are really creative and they get my creative art chakra just flowing, or like when I meet people that like to have these type of conversations and they get my creative, like philosophical part of my mind just flowing. And it's so cool when you meet people like that. There's people that close certain chakras too, like there's people that close their happy chakra, like it's just really weird. And then like type energy, vampires, like it just flows into that whole thing, and it's just weird. And yeah, there was another little portion that I wanted to talk about, but I'm just gonna see how this video, I kind of ranted on those two subjects a lot. And yeah, this last thing I just want to leave you as, what are your beliefs? What are your religious beliefs? Your beliefs, whatever you want to call it. If you don't want to call it religion, don't fight me over it. I just want to know, what are your beliefs? What do you believe in? What programs are you running on? Like,
it's above your head, yeah. Harder.
You know you said
Go
to me, where's the
fuerza.
bushes? You said, where's the bushes?
I heard. Hit it! Like you mean it. Like you want the candy. Like your life depended on it. Above you, yes, swing harder. Get the candy out. It's above you, yes, swing.